Hey guys, welcome back. Out here at the sawmill today, but I'm not going to do much sawing. Instead, I'm going to show you exactly what I wear when I do that sawing, and I'm not talking about my shirt or my slacks. I'm talking about what's on my feet, my boots. Now, you guys can see all the way from the right, I've got your basic rubber boots. All the way to the left, I've got your basic work boots. And I wear these from time to time in various situations, whether that's dealing with my tractor, towing an implement, or using my chainsaw, or right here, as I mentioned, cutting wood. Now, these boots have been worn by me over the last number of years, and I wear them and change them out depending on the season. On the right hand side, here's your basic rubber boot. These are CSA approved. They have a steel toe in them and they are insulated. These are okay, but as you can see, they aren't going to provide much ankle support. So I don't wear these a heck of a lot, hence why they're still in decent condition. What I wear instead of those in the cold months is these guys right here. You've probably seen me wear these many times when it's cold out. These are made by Dunlop, the Dunlop Purofort. These are CSA approved as well. These I find are definitely a better boot than these. They're also quite a bit more expensive. These have a nice Vibram sole on them as well. They have excellent traction, and as you can see there, it really grabs onto the rung of a ladder nice. I like these because they have nice rocker in the sole as well, so you can walk around quite easily with these. They're nice and high as well, and they really grip my foot quite nice. One thing about these that I do is I actually use these in conjunction with these guys. These guys here are called Bama sockets. I bought them from Mark's Work Warehouse in Ontario, Canada here. These I wear with my socks in them, obviously. And these go inside my boots, and what this does is this wicks away sweat from my feet in the winter. And so I actually wear these in the coldest temperatures we have, which is like down to -35 Celsius. And with these wicking away the sweat from my feet, these keep me warm. All right. If you're going to go and sit out ice fishing and you're not going to move, are these going to keep you warm? Assuming that they're not really insulated except for these. I don't know. I wear these when I'm working, so I'm constantly moving, I'm warm. These keep me dry. When I stay dry, I stay warm. So that's what I wear in the winter time. If we have a look at how these guys are doing, and believe me, these have been through a lot. These have been through construction sites, all my various logging operations out here. I wear them around the yard to cut the grass. These are used a lot. The only wear and tear you're gonna notice is right here. It split a bit at the back, and it did the same thing at the front. What I did to fix this, I took some shoe goo and I took a little piece of inner tube and I more or less just clamped it on there and let it dry. I just got to do the same thing on the back. But these things have really held up well, and if these do wear out, I will be buying another pair because these are worth their weight in gold. All right, these pair right here. These I wear in the wintertime as well. I wore them up until I got these new work boots, which I'll talk about in a minute. These are great, however, they're not exactly work boots. They have nice high ankle protection or high ankle support. They have 800 grams of insulation in them, but they don't have a steel toe. These are not CSA approved. These are not ideal. They're very comfortable, hence why I wear them out and about, but they're not ideal because they don't have that protection. They don't have a steel shank in them for nails and whatever else. These I wear for a variety of different things because they have great traction for off-road. As I mentioned, they have great ankle support and they're warm. These got replaced, not because they wore out, and although they look like they could use a bit of sprucing up, they're not worn out, but these got replaced with these guys, my brand new work boots, because I needed something that gave me a little bit more protection. That's where these guys come in. These are my Timberland Boondock work boots. I just got them about 3 days ago. These are CSA approved. They have a nice protective toe on it, and they're composite toe. And as you can see on the bottom, lots of great traction, which I'll need when I'm out doing the stuff I do. This also has a great Vibram sole on it. This Vibram sole is the fire and ice sole. I'm more concerned about the ice in fire and ice because these are going to be worn in the winter as well. They'll give me great traction on the ice and snow. Why did I buy these? Well, first and foremost, I didn't buy them because they were the cheapest. I've been down that road before. I bought these because these are the most comfortable. When I put these on, I knew right away that these were going to be comfortable nonetheless. I also bought them because they have leather uppers, and I like to wear leather boots. Same reason I like these boots, leather uppers. In my experience, having leather uppers on your work boots allows the work boot to sort of sort of work into your foot, and ultimately when you put them on, they're going to feel like you're wearing a nice glove, right? They're going to fit you well, and they're going to be comfortable for a long time. Another reason I bought these, just for the fact that they had great reviews. Now, it's hard for me to tell whether a boot's going to be great or not unless I've worn them in the past. I've never worn these in the past, so I took a bit of a risk. I'm only 3 days in, but I'm liking what I see. Very comfortable. They have nice rocker, so I can walk nice and easily, and I think they're going to do me just fine. I'll talk about those more in a minute. Let's look at where I came from. You guys would have seen me wearing these most recently. These were sort of my steel toe work boots before I got those ones, when I wasn't wearing these ones. These, as you can see, well, they're leaving a little less, they're leaving a little bit to be desired there. These things, as you can see, like I've worn them and worn them and worn them. They're solid still. Like, you're not going to get a nail through your foot. You got the steel toe there, but these have long lost their luster. As you can see here, there's not a lot left there. They've definitely stretched, and you know, you could probably rejuvenate these with a little bit of beeswax in the leather, but why would you? They gotta go. That right there is not going to cut it out here. These pretty much absorb water just by thinking about it. Now you'll notice I've got two other pairs that are similar to that. These pair here, they're made by Terra. These are a relatively low-cost work boot as well. These have a good sole on it, made by Vibram, but as you can see, the sole is kind of a factory sole. It's for, you know, smooth surfaces, not so much out here in the woods. I've been wearing these in addition to these off and on for years. I sort of rotate my boots. One thing I liked about these, that I liked better than the other pair I just showed you, was this, the protective toe cap. I wanted to make sure my protective toe cap was in place on any new boots I bought, because that's what's going to prevent the leather from ripping. As you can tell, has been the case right here. So that's why these look slightly better, because of the protective toe cap. Besides that, you know, you could probably get some more time out of these. Put a bit of beeswax, put a bit of leather, leather conditioner on there, get it back into play. But these have been upgraded. These have been fixed with these pair here. So that was one of my pairs, and the last pair here, very similar. These are made by Wolverine Company, relatively low cost work boot. Leather uppers once again, steel toe in it, steel shank in it, pretty much a no-name sole on it. Not the most ideal in slippery conditions. You know, it's going to work on flat, smooth surfaces, but it's definitely not the same. Oh, it's not the same as these. These right here, I bought them because of a few things. As I mentioned, the leather uppers, it's going to conform to my feet over time. I can also add some waterproofing beeswax to this. I can also add some leather conditioner to keep them nice and supple, and that way they're nice and flexible and comfortable. I bought them because of the Vibram sole on the bottom. My experience shows me that these really last, they grip well, and that's the thing I'm looking for. I also bought them because look at the lugs on there. I think that's going to provide me good traction. I'm not going to be on pavement very often with these. In fact, these may never see pavement, but they're going to see, they're going to see the surface up here. They're going to see my shop. They're going to see the woods. I want something that I think is going to provide me grip in a variety of situations. The fire and ice component of the Vibram sole is quite nice as well, especially the ice component. I want these to grip on ice and snow, because let's face it, that's pretty much what it's like here about 6 months a year. The other thing I like about these boots, you're going to notice they have a combination of hook and eyelet there. And just so you know what I'm talking about, when you're doing up your boots and you need to tie them up for the day, you can use the hook right there. Or if you don't want to do that, you can actually use the eyelet hole, like so. I like the hooks myself, but having both is quite nice. Another thing I like about this, the toe cap protection, for me, in my experience, as I mentioned, this right here, when you have work boots without toes, without toe protection, if you're doing a lot of kneeling or, I don't know, maybe something falls on your toe, you have the potential to rip the leather there, and nothing is worse than having water come in at that location and touch your toes. That's one of the reasons I like this. Besides that, I think this is a very well-made boot. Part of the boot is made with Goodyear welt construction, which that's a conversation for another day, but more or less it means there's nice stitching here holding the sole onto the boot, so I quite like that. And besides that, I think the boot is very comfortable above all else. So some of the reasons I bought that. Now, some of you guys are probably saying to yourself, well, why did you not buy a set of logging boots, loggers boots? There's a whole bunch of manufacturers out there who make them, and You can get them in a variety of price ranges. Here's the real reason. In today's climate, it is very difficult to get a handmade boot made. You guys probably know if you've ordered anything recently, the backlog for even handmade stuff is, very, very long. I cannot wait too much longer, as you can tell, to get my work boots back into action. Does that mean I won't own a nice pair of custom fit logger boots down the road? No, but for now, I need it. And I can't wait months and months for that to come in. So that's the real reason. I also wanted to have a set of boots that I could go and actually put on, and that is becoming a challenge more and more so in today's climate. If I can't try on the boots and I order them online, I take the risk that the boots won't fit, and then I got to ship them back, and I'm probably going to go through that process several times until I find a set that I really like. And so that wasn't something I wanted to tackle, and so I decided buy a set of boots from a place, and I bought these from Mark's Work Warehouse here in Ontario, Canada. Buy a set of boots where I could actually go and try them on, and that way I could tell for sure that they were going to be comfortable for me and useful. So that was the real reason I didn't buy the custom-made loggers boots. These aren't cheap, as I mentioned. They're getting up there, closer to that custom loggers boots price. So if I'm willing to spend this much, maybe in a bit more time I'll be willing to spend that much. One last thing here I'm going to mention is these guys. These are boots that I like wearing, and I'm still going to continue wearing them. The only downside, as I mentioned, is they don't have the protective toe, thus they're not CSA approved. These are actually a hunting boot. As I mentioned, these are insulated, and they're all leather. They got some Gore-Tex in here as well. Although they're not Vibram soles, they're quite well built in my experience. These are getting old, as you can tell. We're starting to get a bit of delamination between the sole and the welt. And on this side, you may not be able to see it, but there's a bit of cracking on the welt. These are made by Irish Setter, and I would expect the boot to start breaking down at this point because these are so old and they've had so many miles put on them. I can't even tell you when I bought them. I bet these are years and years and years old, and these have been around the block and come back. So, well guys, as you can see, I've worn a variety of different boots in a variety of different situations and conditions. Some are going to remain being worn, like these Dunlops here and my Irish Setters, because these are just great boots, and I find them very, very comfortable, and they're providing great protection. Others, although they were excellent at one point, like these 3 pairs of steel-toe boots here, they are not necessarily at the top of their game anymore, and as you can see, this pair here is probably about ready for retirement. So we're going to do just that. We're going to put those 3 pair away. And what we're going to do, we're going to replace them with these Timberlands. I've only had a little bit of time to wear them so far. They've turned out to be excellent in my opinion. I hope they continue to be. And I'll let you know either way. So guys, if you're interested in these boots, give me your opinion on them down below. If you have some other brand of boots that you guys wear and you found them to be really, really good, I'd love to hear about it. Put that down below. For everyone who's out there, I hope you're all well. Take care, and I'll see you next time.